Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of The Faces of Real Estate. I'm your host, Earl Workman, with our special guest and great friend, Anthony Marguleas. Anthony, welcome to the call today.
Thank you, Earl. Glad to be here.
So Anthony and I met several years ago when he called in after a webinar and said, Verl, I need you to be my coach because I want to make a bigger difference. And it was really a fun call. And it's been fun to watch, Anthony, you grow and your business change. And really, most importantly, it's been humbling to watch your sincere desire to make a difference in the community. Would you mind just telling our listeners a little bit about your company?
Sure. So I founded Amalfi Estates approximately 26 years ago. We're based in Pacific Palisades, which is between Santa Monica and Malibu. And we have 7 sales partners on our team with a couple admin. We help about 50 families a year and having fun doing it. And we give back 10% of our commission to one of 5 charities. And my goal has always been to pass and spread the word to other real estate companies to do something with philanthropy, and whatever that may be. It could be their time, it could be joining a board, it could be giving $100. It doesn't have to be 10%. Just something to really give back and make a difference in the world and feel good about it. So
I love that. As before we get into kind of your specific charities and what you do to give back, just give us a little snapshot of, tell us about your family.
So I have a beautiful wife. She's my better half. I married up like you did, girl. And she's great. She's a nurse and still practicing. I have 4 great kids. I can say that honestly. They are great kids. And not because they may hear this video later. They 3 in college. I have 2 at Georgetown, and I have 2 at Boulder. One just graduated at Boulder. So they're great, and we're having them at home, spending some great time with them. So it's all good. And we try and take a lot of vacations, have good balance in our lives. Thanks to you. I didn't have a lot of balance before we started working together. So as you remember.
Well, it's fun to see you. It's fun to see you spend the time with your family. At first when this whole COVID-19 came out, I was a little bit concerned about having everybody back home and around again. But now I kind of dread the day everybody goes back to college.
Well, at least the house will be cleaner.
The house will definitely
less
be cleaner, and my food bill will go down.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Amalfi Estates and the Palisades. Where's Palisades? You gave us a little bit of geography. What's the community like?
Sure. So geography-wise, we're located between Santa Monica and Malibu. Palisades really stands for where the mountain meets the sea. So it's kind of like Big Sur, but a little bit more, even more coastal. But it's got just a great feeling with the mountains and the ocean. It's very much a family community, and it's great. We've been living here 30 years, and I've been very, very fortunate. It's got a very small town feel. They do a 4th of July parade every year. They get about 10,000 people, 5K, 10K race. Just a lot of family stuff. It's one of the only few walking villages in Southern California. So literally people can walk to most of the shops and restaurants and movie theater and post office, and you don't really need to drive. So you can bike ride or walk, and there's great hiking trails. It's a fairly affluent community, so real estate prices are pretty expensive here. That's the only downside. I don't know if my kids are going to be able to afford to live here, but the people are really nice, and we're very fortunate to be able to live here.
Well, if they're being mentored by their father, there's a good chance they're going to find success in whatever they do.
Well, thank you. And and their mother.
Right. Yeah, I know. I can't take any credit for any of the success my kids have. Although when something goes wrong, it's absolutely my fault.
We also have we have 3 dogs. We just got a quarantine puppy, like a lot of people. In fact, Colleen is, every time I post a new puppy picture, she's the first one to like it. So
we love our Weimaraners. Because you got a Weimaraner, you became like fully ingrained into the Workman family.
I'm gonna bring it on the next coach training. So
yeah, the Blues can hang out with each other. That's really a cool thing. So Anthony, when we first started working together, you always had this concept of giving 10% back, and you let the seller choose, and then you've narrowed it down over the years. Tell me a little bit about how you determined the charities you work with now and what you're doing to make a difference with them.
Sure. So we originally started about 6 or 7 years ago. We we wanted to give back. And at the time, I didn't have a lot of extra money to do that with kids going into college. But I knew my time, I could donate my time, and that's really how I looked at it. So I would donate part of my commissions through my time. So we were originally started giving 100% of two home sales to one or two charities. But then I realized I really wanted to make more of an impact. So we let our clients pick and changed it to do 10%, like tithing and the Bible says, just to give back, and thought that would be a good thing. It wasn't easy to do. Obviously, we make a lot of sacrifices, but they're well worth those sacrifices when you see how much good we're doing. And it's not so much the money we're giving, it's the, over 1,000 families, Burl, that we've been able to help through the charities, whether that's giving a wish to a terminally ill child, or rescuing like some animals at Make-A-Wish that were going to be put down, or helping people that were homeless off the streets. And that's the bigger why, it gets you up every morning. So we let our client pick from any charity they wanted, and 10% would be given to that. And then we realized we wanted to make a more impactful difference. So we hired a charitable giving consultant who put together a business plan for us, and they helped structure it. So we had it in 5 different categories: one for health, which is American Cancer Society; one for pets, Make-A-Wish; one for kids. Make-A-Wish for kids, pets, SPCA. And then local was Homeboy Industries. And sorry about that.
It's time to get up, Anthony.
Time to get up, I know. And so we want to be more impactful, Burl, so we picked from one of those 5 different categories, and we're going to be adding environment as a 6th charity. We're going to pick an environmental cause that we can help with. And
I don't know how you're going to find one of those in California.
It's hard, right? Yeah, it's hard. Let me make sure my I don't want my alarm going off again. I just muted it. Okay, we are good to go. Sorry about that.
Awesome. So let's talk about those. So I'd like to hear some of your numbers, like how many cancer patients has your team really made a difference in their lives? And let's get.
Yeah. So we've helped in 5 years that we've been actively doing this. We've helped 1,077 families, 354 cancer patients and their caregivers receive 1 week lodging. 295 dogs have been cared and housed until adoption. We've granted 15 wishes to kids with terminal or very serious illnesses. We've helped 239 gang members had tattoos removed so they could get jobs. That was one of the charities I didn't have a chance to mention, through Homeboy Industries. And then 174 homeless we've been able to provide housing for. And it's not just the money, we're active on their boards. My wife and I are very fortunate. We're chairing the American Cancer Society's biggest fundraiser for Los Angeles this summer. So it's just, it's our time. They come to our offices, the charities, and give presentations, Rural, to the office. It's a full commitment. It's not just writing a check.
So Anthony, you have these millennials on your team that aren't necessarily brought up in a world where they're trained to give back. Has it been a challenge to get them involved, and what kind of an impact is it making on their lives when they see the impact you're making on others?
Yeah, it really has. In recruitment, the first time an agent we're recruiting, they'll say, "What are your splits?" And I know that's not the right mindset or core value that we're looking for. We always say, "Are you looking for the highest? You're looking for the highest commission split. We're not the best real estate company for you." We know that our agents can be very, very successful. And what we found, especially like Generation Generation Z, 72% felt that having a job that impacted causes that were important to them was very important. And then we found 45% of millennials, Generation Y, basically, they felt it was equally important as well. So that they would even take a 15% pay cut, in order to work for a company that had something bigger than themselves. So it's really been great from that perspective, to be able to bring on people of like mind, Burl, that really get it. And when we have these charities come to our meetings, they come once a quarter and they give a presentation and an update of where the money has gone. everyone's in tears, and everyone's affected in some way or another by it, and it just shows, at the end of our lives, right, on our tombstone, it's like no one's going to care how many houses we sold, right? What does that mean? That's ego based.
Yeah, yeah.
But how many lives we've touched, I think that's really where the difference comes in. So, and we're fortunate to have the opportunity to be able to give back. So.
Well, I think it's, a lot of people think they have to make a bunch of money if they want to make a difference. Is that a true statement?
No, it's time. I mean, I think, unfortunately, we've talked about this before at conferences, giving away, a lot of money impresses people because a lot of people are driven by money, but they think then they can't attain it. And the reality is it's about whether you've affected one life or 50 lives or 100 lives. That's really the difference. It's not how much money someone gives. If you give an hour of your time, that's as valuable and made a difference in a child's life or anyone's life. And I think it's mentoring too for your kids. My parents were very fortunate to be able to give a role model as example for myself and my siblings, and we've been able to pass that, down hopefully to our kids so they can see. So yeah, so it's been fun.
I love it. So I'd love to hear a little bit about some of the activities that you do besides just, giving some of the money back. I know that your team's very much involved in the actual charities. What are some of the things that your team has done together that you've enjoyed doing, that you've seen the community come out for and has helped create that culture that you have of giving?
Yeah, so we've done, so PATH is one of the homeless charities, and it's people assisting the homeless. And we've done several move-ins. So we get our whole team together and we purchase couches and different rugs and things for their unit, and then we help move them in. We get a U-Haul, and we're the movers. And seeing their face, and actually, I saw this one. It was a retired vet, older gentleman. He started to jump up and down on the bed. he hadn't slept in a bed in so long, and he was so excited. And you can't put a price on that. It was amazing. It was just an amazing experience, Verl, to see that. That was one that really comes to mind. We've also done shared events at there's a thing called Soul Cycle, where it's like a spinning class, kind of like Peloton, but these are spinning classes all over California. And we'll partner with one of our top referral clients or sphere of influence, and we'll rent out the whole place, and we'll donate the proceeds of that to one of our 5 charities. And then it's fun, and the office is there. They get to experience it, and you get to meet new people, and you're exercising at the same time. So that's been a lot of fun.
It sounds like a work give back program.
Yeah.
Work and
yeah. And then we did a whole flamingo thing. That was fun.
I saw that, and I watched it on social media. Tell me a little bit about the traction that received.
That's been great. We got the idea from a fantastic agent in the Bay Area, Christine McCann. I want to give her kudos and credit. And I saw it online, and basically you buy the pink flamingos online, and then anyone's having a birthday, we've added it to do graduations and anniversaries. But everyone with shelter in place, not being able to celebrate and enjoy themselves. A lot of people living by themselves. We've done a lot of 80-year-olds. And it's so much sadness because they can't get out because of the health concerns. So they'll email us, and we flock their home, and we put a bunch of signs saying happy birthday. We don't charge for it. My kids have been helping out. We've been doing up to 5 birthdays a night. We've actually hit 70 birthdays in the last 35 days.
How many pink flamingos have you had to acquire for inventory?
200. We have 200 flamingos, and we leave one. We leave one after every birthday as a little gift, saying, "I've left my flock. Please adopt me." So, and it's not just the family that gets the pleasure. It's people walking by, and how can you not smile when you see 100 pink flamingos in someone's yard?
Right. Well, it brings just joy. I love the joy that you're bringing, not just to the 5 charities, but to the entire community. And what a great idea during the lockdown. So Anthony, you're a goal setter. I know you always have these goals of things you want to accomplish in your business and in your life. What are your plans going forward with how you want to continue to give?
So we've been really very fortunate. So we just hit the milestone of $1 million and 1,000 families that we've been able to help in the last 5 years. So we're averaging about $250,000 a year and about 250 families a year that we've helped. So I'd like to double it. I'd like to grow our team. We only have 7 agents on our team, so it's a pretty small team to be able to make that difference. But if we can have 15 agents and we can start increasing the number of sales that we do, Burl, we can help a lot more people and touch a lot more lives and give back, and it's all good. I mean, it's a selfish, people think, wow, you really give a lot back, but it's people that give a lot. It's you feel almost selfish because you get so much return out of it. I mean, in your faith, I mean, you guys are the epitome of giving back. I mean, Mormon faith, I don't know too many other faiths that it's ingrained as deeply as yours is. So think of the feeling that you give every time you tithe. Until you do it, it's an amazing experience.
I'm blown away, Anthony, by people from every part of the country, every nationality, every religious background. Some people, there's just this inheritive thing that's inside of them that wants to make a difference in the world. We have a lot of agents that watch this podcast or see the blog. How do you get started? I mean, where do you just start?
Yeah, so I'm going to offer to anyone that's listening to this to call me, email me, text me. I don't care. Any way you want to communicate, I'm happy to walk through how we did it and what we learned from. And every state's different, obviously, from the tax standpoint and who gets the donation and how do you set it up legally, and does your broker and talk to your broker, obviously. But I can show you the pitfalls that we've learned from and how to set it up so it makes it easier. But you really need your team to own it and to really pick the charities. It can't come from the team leader. It's got to come from the team, and they have to really be causes that are deep to everyone's heart that you're going to really be involved with. And then research the percent that is going to charities, because every charity has to file a certain form, a tax return, basically that will show you the percentage that goes to the charity. And you want to pick ones so the majority is going to the cause. So, and as opposed to admin or overhead. So that's really, really important to do. But like I said, any things that there's so many side benefits in doing this. Our reviews have gone up tremendously. It's harder for sellers or buyers to renegotiate commissions when they know you're giving 10% back. We get higher morale, a higher retention rate with our agents. It's a win-win all around. I cannot recommend enough if more real estate agents. And then the general public doesn't view you as a salesperson. They view you, as someone giving back to the community. So yeah, it's good. It's a good thing. I'm happy to help. So I'm sincere in my offer to have anyone call and see if there's something that I can share that will be helpful.
Well, I hope they take you up on it. And that's a really cool offer to say, just call me, I'll help you. Any last parting words of advice for any of our listeners as they get ready to start their journey towards giving?
I think just jump in and do it. The hardest thing, especially with COVID-19, is like a lot of our sales are down a little bit. We have some opportunities out there, amazing opportunities to really grow our business in a different way. And maybe this charity way is one way to do it. So don't look at it that you're giving money away that you could be using. Look at it as a way maybe to brand yourself or to get your name out there and do good in the community. So this may be a great opportunity to do that if you've always wanted to try something different.
Anthony, you're a great example of if you do the right things, the business takes care of itself. And I'm a big believer in that. You don't do it because of the business, but the business has a way of taking care of itself when you give back and you make a difference and you do the right things, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
All right. On behalf of Faces of Real Estate, Anthony Marguleas, thank you for being here. Continued success and continued making a difference in the lives of your team and the people in the community that you serve.
Thank you, Burl. I appreciate you having me on. Take care.